Over the last 2 years, we've focused on improving our advocacy that we do, our influencing. As you would know, Wandile is now the envoy to the presidency for agriculture. That is an amazing opportunity that we have, as well as an accountability to make sure that Wandile's inputs into the government are real, evidence-based, and will help us drive and grow the agriculture sector. We've added a special projects senior person, Sino. We've added some legal intelligence people to the team, research, development. The Road to Rail projects, we're at the forefront of assisting the red meat industry in getting through the foot and mouth disease, especially on the regulatory side. Fortunately, we've been able to make progress through the capacities that the team has delivered.
We have a signed memorandum of collaboration with Agbiz, but also Agri-SA. This collaboration was entered into earlier this year in February in the Free State, because the pilot project will focus on the Free State. So the intention is to also analyze the impact of rural roads and poor rural roads on the farming community, and specifically the focus on the total logistic costs. But I think what's also important about collaboration is also to share some of the technical analysis we do at the Center of Excellence, analyzing the economy, but also developing indices like the Road Access Index. It's work that we actually expanded from the World Bank. So first of its kind in the world, where this work was done on a household level, so that it helps us then also to prioritize the implementation of road infrastructure. This will also help us with the Free State project, as that's one of the criteria for the prioritization framework.
At the Agbiz-kongres today, we had a session talking about structural reforms that we've seen in agriculture, and especially focusing on the National Development Plan, the NDP, which we were part of when writing it and designing it. And I briefly touched on the 3 pillars that the NDP was built on. Those 3 pillars of growth, and where we were looking at growth and jobs, are mainly your underdeveloped land. In other words, the bringing in your transformation farmers, black farmer, the investment, growing those sectors where there's big potential. The second pillar was were the exports. We were targeting around about 300,000 jobs, and then agro-processing, another 300,000 jobs. And if we take a step back and we look, what have we achieved? We can say that the 2 out of the 3 pillars we've had great success. So we've grown our export industry, we've created just over 200,000 jobs in that space. We've invested about 200 billion rand in that industry. We've grown our agro-processing industry, for example, taking soybeans from a net importing position to a net exporting position. But where we're really lacking is still the sector where we have underdeveloped farming industries. They're sitting on land, smallholder farmer base. We're seeing green shoots in some cases, which we need to learn from, and we need to take that forward, where there are industries collaborating with either extension services, finance, input supplies, and growing that sector. We've also talked about the master plans. Currently the agriculture and agro-processing master plan. Our targets there are lower than what we had initially with the NDP. And what we are saying is that we've essentially outgrown the local market in South Africa, the demand. And we are very much export focused now. Now, in terms of hard numbers, that means that you are basically producing at a price that's about 20% lower than your normal, if you would think about importing a product or selling in the local market versus deep sea exports. It's a very competitive business. You have to bring that product to the port, you have to export it. So for that, what we need there is the investment in ports, growing of export markets, opening up more markets internationally. And we had a good discussion also with the Busa colleagues, where they were explaining the operation of Ulunlela, as well as the focus that they are having in the Business Unity South Africa in focusing on these infrastructure developments.
In is very important for Transnet to be part of the Agbiz-kongres. The agricultural community is very important to us. We move their product. A lot of their product is currently on the road and we need to get that back onto the rail. So it was important for me to share with them not only how Transnet is improving efficiencies, but also how Transnet is seeking to transform the collaborations that we are entering into with our customers, the PSP opportunities that are there. But I think very important is like I said, the essence of collaboration and how we can jointly ensure that our product moves on this line more efficiently and more effectively. And I mean, really, that's what we came to speak to them about. So we hear the criticism quite often that things are not happening fast enough. I think though, when one looks at what we've inherited, the state of the network, the rehabilitation that needs to be done, the rolling stock, some of it being unavailable and what we need to do in terms of that, the extreme weather that we've encountered that have resulted in washaways, we have to repair all of those things. So there's a lot happening. Transnet is a huge company with networks all over the country and we have to get to everything. So it is a lot. The reforms unfortunately will take time because there are legislative requirements that have to happen. We are doing it, we are working as fast as we can, but we have to do it right because we have to deliver quality and quality takes time. Look, it's very important that the industry works with us, right? We've just introduced 11 private train operating companies onto the network. There's space for more. So we need them to put their best foot forward, come and engage with us so that we can enable them. That for me is important, right? We have to move the product. There's too much of the product on the road at the moment. The product needs to come to rail. And we can only do that if the industry supports us and comes on board with us. Bring their money, bring their resources, because it's going to be invested for the good of the country. Everybody wins.
The agricultural industry, no matter who they are, all the role players must be better off because this organization exists. And every 2 years we get this opportunity sometimes to experience the camaraderie and the absolute positive sentiment to take this sector forward.